The morning sun always woke me gently. It streamed through my bedroom window, warm and inviting. I loved mornings, especially with Mark. He was my husband, my best friend, my whole world. At 30, I felt like I had everything. A loving home, a job I liked, and Mark. Oh, Mark! His laughter filled our small apartment. His hugs were always comforting, and his eyes, deep brown and kind, always made me feel safe. Today, like many days, I woke up before Mark. I smiled, watching him sleep. His hair was a little messy, and he snored softly. I reached out, tracing the line of his jaw with my finger. He stirred, opening his eyes slowly. "Morning, sleepyhead," I whispered, my voice soft and full of love. Mark smiled a big, sleepy smile. "Morning, my love," he mumbled, pulling me closer. We lay there for a few minutes, just holding each other. These were the moments I cherished most. Simple, quiet, full of love. A perfect life, or so I thought. Mark and I had been together for 5 years, married for 2. Our love story felt like a fairy tale. We met at a coffee shop, bumped into each other, and spilled coffee everywhere. We laughed so much that day, and a connection was made. From that moment, we were inseparable. Mark was a software engineer, and I was a primary school teacher. We had simple dreams: a small house with a garden, maybe a child or 2, and a lifetime of happiness together. Trust was the foundation of our relationship. I trusted Mark completely. I told him everything: my hopes, my fears, my silly dreams. He did the same. We shared passwords, phones, even thoughts. There were no secrets between us. At least that's what I believe. "Honey, I'm going to be home a little late tonight," Mark said one evening. He was getting ready for work, tying his tie in front of the mirror. "There's a big project at work, and we need to finish some things." I was in the kitchen making breakfast. "Okay, darling," I called out. "Don't work too hard. I'll make you favorite dinner for when you get back." Mark walked into the kitchen and kissed my forehead. "You're the best," he said. He gave me a quick hug and then left for work. I smiled. It was a normal morning. I had no idea how much my world was about to change. Days turned into weeks. Mark was working late more often. I understood. Work could be demanding. But a small feeling, like a tiny stone in my shoe, started to bother me. It wasn't anything big, just little things. Sometimes, Mark's phone would vibrate, and he'd quickly put it away. He started taking calls in another room. He was less talkative, sometimes lost in thought. When I asked what was wrong, he'd just say, "Tired, just tired." One evening, I was making tea. Mark was on the sofa, scrolling on his phone. He got up to go to the bathroom, leaving his phone on the cushion. Usually, I never looked at his phone. I didn't need to. But today, for some reason, my eyes fell on it. A new message popped up on the screen. It was from someone named Sarah. The message said, "Missing you. When can we meet again?" My heart did a strange flip. Sarah? Who was Sarah? Mark had never mentioned a Sarah. A cold knot formed in my stomach. My hands started to shake. I picked up the phone. It wasn't locked. My mind screamed, "Don't look." But my fingers had a mind of their own. I opened the message. There were more messages, going back weeks. They were short, but full of emotion. "Thinking of you. Can't wait to see you." And then a message from Mark. "You're beautiful, Sarah. Our secret." My breath caught in my throat. Sarah, his ex-girlfriend. He had told me about Sarah before. We dated years ago, before me. Mark had said it was over, completely. He had moved on. They were just friends now, he had said. But these messages, these were not from a friend. Tears welled up in my eyes. It felt like a physical blow. My world, which was so warm and safe just moments ago, suddenly felt cold and dangerous. I put the phone down, my hands still trembling. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something, but I just stood there, a terrible silence filling the room. When Mark came back from the bathroom, he saw me standing by the sofa, my back to him. He saw his phone on the cushion. He saw the expression on my face. My shoulders were shaking. "Emma?" he asked, his voice suddenly nervous. I slowly turned around. My eyes were red, full of pain and anger. I didn't need to say anything. He knew. "Emma, I can explain," he said, taking a step towards me. "Explain what, Mark?" My voice was barely a whisper, but it was filled with sharp edges. "Explain missing you, Sarah? Explain your beautiful Sarah, our secret?" I pointed at the phone. "Explain that, Mark?" He stopped, his face turning pale. He looked down at his feet. The silence stretched between us, heavy and suffocating. It's nothing, Emma," he mumbled. "Just an old friend. She's going through a hard time." "A hard time?" I laughed, a broken, sad sound. "And comforting her means telling her she's beautiful? Keeping it a secret from your wife?" My voice rose, losing its softness. "You lied to me, Mark. You cheated on me." He finally looked up, his eyes wide with fear. "No, Emma, no. It's not what you think. We just met for coffee a few times. She was sad about her breakup." "Coffee?" My voice was a scream now, hot tears streaming down my face. "Is that what you call it? Secret meetings? Hidden messages? Is that what you call respect? Is that what you call love?" I walked over to him, my hands clenched into fists. "I trusted you, Mark. With everything. My whole heart. You were my world. And you broke it." He tried to reach for me, but I stepped back, away from his touch. "Don't touch me. Don't you dare touch me." Mark's face crumpled. "Emma, please, I'm so sorry. It was a mistake, a terrible mistake." "A mistake?" I shook my head. "No, Mark, this wasn't a mistake. This was a choice. You chose to lie to me. You chose to meet her. You chose to betray me." The night was long and full of tears. Mark finally confessed everything, not just coffee. We had met several times. Lunch, dinners, even a few times after his late nights at work, he had gone to her apartment. He said it started innocently, just catching up. But then it became more. He said he was confused, that he didn't know what he was doing. He swore it was over. He said he loved me, only me. I listened, my heart aching with every word. Each confession was like a knife twisting inside me. The man I loved, the man I trusted more than anyone, had done this. He had broken my trust, broken my heart. The pain was so deep, so sharp. It felt like it would never go away. "How could you, Mark?" I whispered, my voice raw from crying. "How could you do this to us?" He had no good answer, just apologies, tears, and promises that he would never do it again. But for me, words felt empty. Promises felt like lies. The image of him with Sarah, even just talking, sharing secrets, felt like a betrayal too big to fix. The next few days were a blur of pain. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. My mind replayed every happy memory with Mark, but now each one was tainted by the shadow of his betrayal. I looked at him, and saw a stranger. The kind, loving man I knew was gone, replaced by someone who had caused me so much pain. I told my best friend Sarah, a different Sarah, everything. My friend listened, held me, and cried with me. "You deserve better, Emma," my friend said. "You are strong. You will get through this." But I didn't feel strong. I felt weak, broken, lost. My future, once so clear and bright, was now a dark, confusing maze. I knew I had a choice. I could try to forgive Mark, try to rebuild the trust that was shattered into a million pieces. Or I could leave him and try to heal my broken heart alone. Every morning, the sun still streamed into my bedroom, but now it felt cold. Mark was still there, but the warmth between us was gone. The laughter was replaced by silence. The hugs felt hollow. I knew one thing for sure. My life would never be the same. The innocence of my love, the completeness of my trust, was gone forever. I was 30 years old, and I was starting over. Not with joy, but with pain. Not with hope, but with a heavy heart. I looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes were still red, but in them I saw a flicker of something new. Maybe not strength yet, but a tiny spark of determination. I had to find a way to live, to breathe, to heal. I had to find a way to be Emma again, even without the fairy tale. The road would be long, full of tears and difficult choices. But for the first time in days, I felt a tiny bit of hope. The story wasn't over. It was just changing, and I had to be brave enough to write the next chapter.